We're back!
Verse for meditation.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel, guys. I'm Joy and
I'm Marika.
we have our friends with us today, Timmy, Joches, and Jane.
So we're going to be doing a girl talk, obviously, and the topic today is strict parenting and adulting.
So first question is, what is adulting to you? So what comes to you?
Scam.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Said adulting is scam.
Well, adulting is you have to earn the respect before you can get it from anybody else. It's not because you're older than me, then you think you're an adult and I have to respect you.
Okay.
Also, is the responsibility and the mindset. That is basically adulting.
Yeah, it's not necessarily your age.
What is parenting then?
So I could be responsible for myself as an adult, but being responsible for yourself and a child is parenting.
Okay, so did you guys grow up in a strict household?
My parents were strict, but not strict at the same time.
Okay.
Like, I couldn't just say, okay, I'm going out today. I'm just gonna be like, oh, mommy, I'm going out today. Nah. I had to prep up like a year ago, months ago. I start telling her, I'm going out with my friend on these dates, something like that. Like, that's the kind of strict parent I am.
Okay.
No.
No.
Did you say?
I feel like my parents trusted me, and I wasn't that type of person to just randomly go out. I was always into sport or a debate team, so I was always out for a reason.
I grew up to strict parents. Yes, that was strict. So it's not like it's a do or die affair. You know, everybody they are still parents, and I feel like Timmy said, like there's levels to strictness, where you be strict. And sometimes you could be more strict at some certain things than the other things, right?
Would you say your parents were strict on you because maybe they didn't trust you?
No. My mom, well, I was the only child for 10 years. So that basically, you understand? I was the only child, only girl. I'm the first grandchild. So everybody had that protective, they were very protective. They wanted me to go out, but it was still that kidnapping,
It was more safe.
But I feel like that whole not going out, it's a common thing for most African parents, because obviously it's not safe outside. So I knew that I couldn't even go out, back home. But I wasn't angry because I was like, oh yeah, some of my cousins are getting kidnapped for a reason. So it wasn't that they were restricting me for having fun. You know, it's just for my own safety, which was understandable. But having been locked in the house, that's a different thing. You know, it's
there are different type of people that respond to that. Maybe you just be like, oh, my parents are always right, and oh, it's okay. You know, that's how you grow up thinking that way, right? But when you get outside to other associations, like, oh, it's different. You sort of feel like, is there something wrong? Like that. So because there is no reason for you telling me stay indoor, right? It just felt like, oh, instead of kidnapping, I was not even scared of kidnapping, even though where I lived in was really more rats than you guys. It was more about you talking to a guy, and that was very funny.
If you restrict me to stay home, if I wanna smoke, I will smoke. You can't stop me. I'm gonna hide it. So
because you're in a country where you're allowed to. Once you're 18, you're literally allowed to. So you will want to explore if you're being hurt, parents are holding keeping don't do this, don't do that. When you get to a certain age, you want to
why.
Exactly. I want to try, and it's almost too late. Let me do it. Let me make the mistakes. Then you correct me. But if you're keeping me in the house and telling me you can't smoke,
mistake worse.
I really want to do it. When you tell me not to do something, I want to do it. That's
why. How growing up, we all had an idea of what it felt like to be an adult. Some of us could have wait to be an adult, and now you're an adult. In fact, you have moved miles away from your family. Or some of us, not all of us. Some of us have moved miles away from our family. So, how was it?
Coming here was nice. There was no missing of home for a year. So it's just that it's just Christmas, There's always something. Some little things I'm I struggle to do. I'm like, man, this is not easy.
Yeah.
One thing that I really at home, because I do all the prepping for cooking, so my mom just tells me what to do. Only once or twice is like, you go and think, right? So cooking is not the problem. Thinking of what to cook is the problem. Doing some online paperwork. Sometimes I get exhausted. I'm like, I want to go home, especially lately. I'm like, please just take me back home.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, you cannot do this. And some of the inspiration is like, oh, your parents did a really good job for you, right? And you are gonna have kids not very soon, but like later on in your life, right? So you need to learn all these responsibilities for yourself.
Yeah. So moving from one country to the other made me already mentally mature, you know. And then moving to Canada from high school, I was like, what can you offer me? Like, I'm here, like whatever you have to offer me, I'm willing to open my hands. Because the pressure from friends, that couldn't get to me because my high school was wild. I mean, very crazy. We had crazy. I love you guys, but we're very crazy. And I was just able to feed myself, you know, and hustle for myself. Was it a job? I started doing an internship in like grade 10, which was crazy. So coming in and looking for a job, of course, it changed because I didn't even know you had to work per hour. And I was like, damn, my parents really struggled, you know. Like I have to put my hands, I have to actually work for the money now. It's not like me looking at my bank account and I'm like seeing like money. So of course, the way I spend changed because every month or any money I get, I would go buy sneakers. But now I'm like, I have to pay my rent. I have to try support my parents to pay tuition. So of course that changed. I wasn't expecting this whole part of like adulthood, where man, you gotta work for what you want, you know, and nobody's gonna tell you anything. You have to get the information yourself. Sometimes your friends are not even your friends, I'm sorry. But you have to hustle for yourself.
And I'm like,
You eat
I'm going
fast.
to be eating 3, 4, 5.
Now your food is even meatless. It's egg. She's eating egg.
I'll make noodles and rice and mix in that. Let's people just make something and like eat and go.
That's the whole.
Like it's different. Like, I
That's
imagine
very
myself
crazy.
going like my aunt will go out, take us out, go to shop, right, go to
They're trying to
Domino's,
please you,
and
you
all those
know,
things.
so you can
And
say
now-
good auntie.
Yeah. And then like now I'm like, okay, when I grow up I will do that. So I'll be taking my brother out, I'll be buying him clothes. I don't think I'll buy my brother clothes for them.
Come on. Come on.
Would you guys raise your kids the way your parents raised you?
It's you will say no, I won't raise my child that way. I will want my child to go out, but you will grow up and the mentality will come.
But then you also
My
think
mom
about
said
the
this.
generation that is coming up too.
Because I feel like
You can't, if
See,
you raise it like
no matter what, the discipline still has to be there. Do you get?
Yeah.
So if, for example, you have 2 boys and you see one beating the other one, you saying stop hitting your brother is not you doing what your mom did. You're just doing the right thing.
that mentality of this, like making sure that you're disciplined, you know, telling them that this is A, this is B. You want to do it, you do it. I'm not going to tell you not to do it. You learn from your mistake. You cry, mommy, come pick me up. I'll come pick you up. That's the best I can do. Because with this generation coming up, there's so many things on social media. Father being a mother to a child is very hard. Thumbs up to people who are doing great. But with my husband, we'll come together and figure out a way that works with my kids.
She's telling me about it.
I agree with what you said because people that tend to live with strict parents, no matter how we say, oh, we're not gonna be strict, we tend to be more strict to our own kids too. So I think that's something that we need to like heal from. We need to understand how
Emotional
to
damage.
we need to understand how to
consciously.
really take care of kids. One thing I know that I will want to do with my kids is to know them, because when you try to be too strict, you don't know who you're raising actually. The reason for all these problems, all this thing is just one thing. It's just because they don't want to be vulnerable in front of you. it's hard to see parents vulnerable.
No, my parents were vulnerable.
That's
Yeah, but everybody's parents.
But if we want to do, a statistic,
Yeah.
a good
I
statistic,
think it's beyond
is-
being vulnerable.
no,
I feel like it has more
there
to
is-
do with the way their parents raised them.
no, you
But they didn't even have their parents raise
See,
them.
Yeah.
But no, at the same time, you have to also because
It depends on
the
how you
thing is-
interact, like how you react to how your parents raised you.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I feel like if you look at let's say general African home, most of the problems kids have with their parents. I feel like it's mostly because of number one, how they were raised and at what time, what was
It's
their
like they all
own.
went to the same school.
Do you get it?
That's like-
No, that's it. It's like all of them read the same book about parenting.
Exactly. That's how it feels.
All of them went to the same school about parenting, and maybe some of our parents that did it better because maybe
Exposure.
they had
all those kind of
Yes,
things.
I think being exposed actually
Mhm.
makes like it adds a lot because
Yeah.
when I remember when I first like when I moved from Nigeria to a different country and then to another country, it's like there were some things that I couldn't ask my parents about. But then having the friends that they were working with,
Yeah.
now
Yeah,
like
that's
okay,
okay.
maybe we need to pull back a little bit. Let's let her do whatever she wants. We already taught her her values.
Yeah.
We've given her everything she
Yeah.
wants. If she wants to make that mistake, she will. She'll come back to us crying. And thanks, glory to Jesus Christ. I never made any mistake,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But I still had that core belief that they gave to me. So like I think the environment also adds up to
Yeah.
how you raise a child.
Yeah.
Because if you grew up in a typical Nigerian home where your auntie, your grandma like, don't let that child do this,
You
don't
get-
let
No.
you're
Or
gonna
for
raise you the
example,
same
or for
way
example,
you
you
get.
grew up.
Or your child is not, or you don't even believe what your child says.
Yeah.
That comes because most of our parents don't believe what we say. Even if we tell them, I didn't do it, or it was Auntie K that did this, Auntie B that did it. Like, no, it was you who did it. Because of
So
that.
that's
feeling.
when
And that's
you don't
bad.
have a relationship with your child.
Yeah.
I understand my parents' perspective about this thing that you guys are talking about.
Like yelling in public.
Not even yelling in public. That's a normal thing. Forget it.
Jimmy
No, let's describe the public. They're outside.
No,
On the outside.
For me, I feel like public.
See,
Let's forget about
this.
what public is to me. If I drag
You
a
don't
child-
have to be outside.
Can I explain
If
what
your
public is?
neighbors-
Somebody that
Can
is
I explain what public is?
Uh,
Public to me is disciplining a child with someone else in the room. That's public to me.
Yes. As long as there's
Yeah.
more than one person in
If I'm
that room.
talking, if
On my
Juchit,
left.
for example, is my daughter,
Yeah.
and Juchit did something wrong, and Juchit's brother is in the room,
Yeah.
that's public.
Yeah.
Because why does her brother have to know what she did wrong?
Let me tell you how my mom used to display. So we'll go out for like a night out,
Yeah.
concert, I'll have my cousin. And I'll just do something stupid. Cause I'm like the weirdest person in my whole cousin. Like I could just be standing there and just be observing the trees and I have so much going on in my head.
Yeah.
And I go to an old lady, I'm talking about politics, and she's like, how old are you again? I'm like, I don't know. You know? Like I was so disrespectful too. Like I just say whatever comes to mind. If you hurt me, I'll say I don't like what you did. Can you like grow up or do something? So like what was I going to say?
How your mom disciplines you.
When I do something, she calls me. I already know what's going on. So she comes closer.
She
And
pinches
she
you.
just put her hands on there, you shit, and just twist you. And I could not even shout because there's everybody watching. And I'm just like, I'm just sucking it in. But that works for her, and it works for me because she know that I was not a back-to-back words not person. If she shouted at me, I'll forever remember what like she shouted at me. She said I'm stupid. She said it was like a silent treatment. And then when I would get home, she'd be like, don't repeat what you did. Simple. And I wouldn't do that because I was scared of that pinching. She would never lay hands
my
on me
mom
or
is like,
anything, you know?
when she gives you that eye, doesn't they?
Exactly.
Oh,
So-
and then she's going
My-
back home to beat you.
My mom's
Yeah.
format was she will wait for you. She waits
Yeah.
for you to get home. And then when you get home, she's going to sit with you face to face.
Yeah.
If you were speaking to someone disrespectfully, she's going to sit face to face with you and literally tell you everything you told the person and then ask you how you feel about it.
That's crazy.
My parents, my parents did not always like go to flogging us or spanking
I
us.
could faint.
No, I'm
I know. I was so
I'm a second
fragile.
Second child.
I was like, they used to call me
Yeah.
Ajibota or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I hated like being hot, and then
Yeah.
our teacher would be like, "Oh, raise your hands. I'm already on the floor. I'm already on the floor." you know the one that like pick me.
Yeah.
Chuchu's gone. Every week I'm at the hospital.
Yeah.
Like I was so frightened. Like if you touch me, you want to kill me. Yeah.
They believe in public discipline. Not that they will disgrace you, but like, okay, if you're talking about in church, in gathering with...
Our church is crazy. Sorry.
Yeah. If you're talking about in church or maybe in a physical outside gathering, right, they will just give you bombastic side and as well. When they get to fight, you understand what you did wrong or something.
What do you think about your parents comparing you to others?
Never ever in your life, ever in your lifetime, and your father's lifetime.
That's another thing
Never
that
compare
relate.
me or my children, my generation.
I think
Are you okay?
I loved the fact that none of my siblings were ever compared to not
I
even
can't
my cousins.
never.
Because I feel like that's like emotional.
It's not like they
That's
compare
like
me to
apart
my
from
siblings
that-
because I was the first grandchild. So who are you comparing me to? But like other kids.
like do better. Does this person have two heads?
you want to caution or if you want to make a good example, you need to be really careful. Because especially when you keep making the example 4 or 5 times, we are like, we have heard you. We have heard
You know your mouth is like very powerful. And whatever you say, you have to be careful because like you might say something to me and then you be like, oh, it's not even that deep. But for
Yeah,
me,
it's not that
It
deep.
is
I'm always
It's not that deep.
I'm telling you.
It's deep.
Yeah, look at your mate, Bill Gates.
I don't want to talk about that.
Look at your mates. You're going to NASA. Sky limit.
I'm not here.
Okay.
You know, the worst is
She said your mate is Bill Gates. Your mates.
Imagine if a boy that's younger than you made Facebook. What are you doing in your life? Little Mark. Little Mark.
Your mate is the perfect. I love you, Daddy. You're perfect, but I'm just saying like, for other parents that did not train their kids and that raised them in a different way. I love you. No,
Don't do that.
no. I love the money and everything, but you're comparing your kids. Compare yourself. Why can't you be like Barack Obama?
The worst
What's
thing,
stopping
the
you?
worst thing.
What's stopping them is their degree.
Exactly. And show us the age that you got.
That's
True. Show us. But do you feel like some parents are raising their kids to live the dream
Like
they
they
never
do.
had?
Fact.
Yes, exactly.
Fact.
Some parents are.
Yeah.
Like maybe they made this
Fact.
mistake and they don't want you to make that mistake. They want you to include that.
And like they couldn't do this, so they wanted you to do it.
Trying to
Yeah.
live the
They
life
might-
they wanted through you.
They might not know they are doing it. Honestly, I think
See,
parents.
some of them
No,
are
they're fully
Like some
know.
of these parents, they talk
Some of
too
them
much.
do.
Like go back and get a
Some of them
degree or a master's degree. Like
Actually,
it's not too late to go back
It's
to study.
honestly, I feel like
Can you tell your parents like I don't like what you like and I don't like what you
I've
did?
got to the age where I can tell my mom I don't like that.
No, yeah, that's
My brother has got to the age, you know. He's still in the age where she will tell you, "Bah," and you keep quiet.
Like,
Right.
I think there's a
I was like,
certain-
I don't like the way you talk to me. Can you turn your volume?
No.
You can't do that.
Ah.
It's
Guys. no. See, with my auntie, it was more of, in fact, if you not listen to me, I report you. At the point, I was there calling family meetings for her. Insanely enough. The first day I remember the first day she actually beat her son. About exactly what he did, and she hit him. And what even hurt me the most was that the fact that she didn't hit him with like a cane or something. She picked up her shoe and hit him with it.
That's a normal.
And I was in the house.
I bet tap out from
like just quickly.
This person is a waste time. You just look at like this. It will get
No,
to
this is such a good example because I feel like
Anything
some
in your
people's
hand.
realities are like surprising to others.
No, I get the fact that I get the fact that it's a normal
It's not a
thing.
normal thing. It's just
It's
that
not
that's
a
what
normal. It's
happens.
an abnormal thing that's been normalized.
Yes, in African
Your head
homes.
is here.
I get it is what it is, but I didn't want those kids to be traumatized by that. No, because it actually turns to trauma for some people. Like there's so many things that were normalized in an African home that my auntie did not do to her kids, even though she like raised her kids alone because her husband died like earlier. So like I feel like having that relationship too helps a lot.
Yeah.
And if you are the first child and you have seen these things and you're like, okay, this is wrong, I'm not going to like speak up because if you don't speak up,
Yeah.
the same things are going to repeat.
Yeah.
And it's
I
just going
speak
to be
up.
a cycle.
Children need beating.
No,
My brother is
This
not
why-
a beating
No,
person.
no,
My
no,
brother
no,
is
your
a
brother is
punishment person. If you tell my brother kneel down, just about kneel down for 5 minutes, and then started sweating, he will never do that again. But my mommy didn't understand that because our languages. Say, Mom, no, don't do that. You did that to me, don't do that to me. He wants to go out, let him go out. He wants to play this one, let him play.
What is something or an advice you wish someone had told you before you ventured into being an adult?
The mistake you made doesn't make you. Like, don't dwell on it. You've made it, move past it. Cry one day or two, move past it.
Every thought you have in your head of making a decision or doing something, do it. If it's a mistake, you learn from it. So because I'm someone that I have so many things I want to do, but I'm just so scared to start it or to doing it. So I wish someone would, like what she said earlier on, is make me mentally and emotionally ready to do something. Even if it doesn't work, I can move on from that and don't let it weigh me. Get used to rejection. Get used to people saying no to you, because then I feel like
Just know that
as a
failure
whole,
is not the end of the world.
we'll achieve so much when we keep making those mistakes and learn from it. It's like dating someone. When you're so in love, your eyes so blind, you cannot see the red flags. But once they break up with you, your eyes become open,
Then
you
you
can see all the
get
red
better.
flags. But now you're like, oh, I'm not gonna date because I'm heartbroken. You know what you're looking for in the next person, and the next person might actually have what you want, but yet they're also wrong. Then you know by the time you get to your heart, I'm not saying you should date.
Don't be jumping out like
No. See, me dating, like we said in your previous YouTube video, it's friendship. Dating is
Friendship
getting to
with
know
time.
you.
Yeah. You
You're
don't
my
necessarily
friend.
have to be married.
It's starting like
We're friends.
Silent.
Just dating, friendship. You know,
All I'm
we're not
saying is
married. There's no
hashtag
ring. There's no
wedding in
ring.
Monaco.
There's nothing.
What your parents did to you doesn't define you, or how you live your life doesn't define you. You should make a good thing for your next generation. So as we are saying, oh, parents out there, you as kids out there, don't say this is this, this is that. There are many people that live in worse situations than you, and also were able to bring the best person out of themselves. So don't just be stuck in a hole and think, oh, this is all it is. Be willing to learn. And one thing, your parents will not teach you everything because they cannot cover everything.
Alright, so I think one thing that you guys need to pick out of this is obviously that as the parent you have a responsibility to your child, and as a child you do have some sort of responsibility to your parent, and we're just trying to understand that it's your first time being parents and it's your first time being a child, but it all just comes out to understanding each other and knowing that even whatever your parents did to you, you're responsible now to take care of that. Sadly. Sadly, you're responsible to, like, whatever they've hurt you, you need to fix it. Go to therapy, whatever works for you, works for you. But yeah, it's not your responsibility. So, but anyways, we're so glad you guys came.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys, if you like the video, put a like button,
Share, comment, subscribe.
subscribe guys. Thank you guys so much for watching our videos.
See you in our next video.
Bye.